At this point in the MCU, anything could happen. Oh, and by the way, spoilers for Infinity War, that goes without saying. Now lately we have been getting some subtle hints in relation to the main plot for Avengers 4, and despite such, we really don't know the overall story. And it's especially interesting because after Infinity War we do know that half of the heroes are currently dead. So if the Avengers are going to go for another round against Thanos, then they need pretty much anyone under their belt. And bear this in mind, this is just a little theory that I just thought in my mind. Now if you've seen Infinity War, then you would know that Vision is one of the many casualties who died under the hand of Thanos. And once the Vision died, his body became grey. But what I find even more interesting is that once half of the universe were vaporizing, the Vision's body still remained. And this in itself got me into something. Because earlier on in Infinity War, Cap's group went on record in saying that the Vision could potentially survive without the Mind Stone. Because he's part Tony Stark, part Bruce Banner, part Jarvis, and part Ultron. And you would think with the remains of Vision and the fact that the heroes are outnumbered, it would make sense for the Avengers to try and revive the Vision, given how they need all the help that they could get against Thanos. Now as far as everyone's concerned, Shuri is still very much alive after the events of Infinity War. So maybe she alongside Bruce Banner could help try to revive the Vision. But because Shuri is unfamiliar with artificial intelligence, as well as the fact that Bruce Banner wasn't the main guy in charge of creating Ultron, their plan would ultimately backfire on them as they revive Ultron instead. Now like I already mentioned earlier, it has been stated that the Vision does have parts of Ultron in him. So it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility if Ultron did plant some form of contingency plan to be revived in the Vision's body. And like in the comics, Ultron never stays dead, and he always has contingency plans in order to keep himself alive. And if this all adds up, whatever role Ultron will play in Avengers 4 could be very interesting, because would he choose to help the Avengers or would he even side with Thanos? Because on one hand, Ultron wants to exterminate all life on Earth, but at the same time the main purpose for Ultron is to exterminate all extraterrestrial threats. Plus there is that big theory in that Ultron might have been aware of Thanos' arrival the entire time, given how Ultron shares the similar brainwaves to Tony Stark, and we do know that Tony Stark has been paranoid about another alien invasion ever since the original Avengers movie. And because both Tony and Ultron shared a similar paranoia, Ultron had came into the conclusion in that he should save the world through an extremely dangerous price. And honestly, I think this theory really does add up. Now I'm not entirely sure if this was completely scrapped from Ultron's origin, but if I remember correctly, Ultron was supposed to be some sort of Chitauri virus. So even if Ultron becomes an ally for the Avengers, he could potentially be the key in defeating Thanos. And honestly, I would love to be right on this, because Ultron is one of my favourite villains in the MCU, and I pray to God that we do see this character again at some point in the near future. And again, if this theory does line up, then this is the perfect way in bringing back Ultron, while giving him a new and interesting role within the MCU. So what do you think of my theory on Ultron's resurrection? Do you believe that this is likely, or do you think that this is a bit far-fetched? And also, would you actually want to see Ultron back in Avengers 4 or even a future film in the MCU? Comment below and share some thoughts. And as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Take care and have a good one.